Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cut to the Chase Sports Podcast, where I'm in Cincinnati and I'm fucking depressed. Hi, I'm Chase Yance. Brady King's over to my right. What's up, Brady?
Not too much. Second favorite episode of the week.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's
really
my
not much.
saying.
No, second favorite episode of the week. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, I've never heard you say second favorite before, Matt. So, Brady,
This is my new saying.
he's got it. Yeah, he's got the rights to it. But, down below, infamous Matt Ricketts. What's going on with you, Matt?
What's up, fellas? Ready to turn and burn? This arguably could end up being the best week of college football in the entire season. Week 4, it could be. And the Buckeyes are going to beat the shit out of the Fighting Irish.
Yep, we'll get more coverage for you guys throughout the week and everything about that anticipated Ohio State Notre Dame matchup, as well as some of the great matchups that are going to be going on throughout college football. But we're going to push the rewind button just a couple of days back to Saturday and just take a look at some of the matchups that happened and the results. We're going to go from early to late. Florida State barely beat Boston College, 31-29. Boston College had a couple opportunities to come back and potentially win this game. Matt, what did you think of Jordan Travis and the Florida State offense?
Well, I mean, Jordan Travis, they got off to a slow start. It was very, very shocking. But my biggest takeaway from the game in general was how effective Boston College and Castellanos, the quarterback from Boston College, if correct me if I'm wrong, Brady, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce his name. He absolutely torched Florida State's secondary. So my takeaway is Florida State can be gotten in the back end, and if they were playing any team worth a fuck, they would have lost that game. Boston College is horrible. Okay, yeah. They're going to win like 2 games, and I don't get me wrong, I love Jeff Halfway, but Boston College sucks. So Florida State should have plummeted in the polls. I mean, playing against Boston, I know it's a conference game on the road, whatever, but still, I was just like, good God, Boston College is ass, and I couldn't even believe it when I saw it. Couldn't even believe it, but my big takeaway was Florida State's secondary is suspect, and against good teams with better receivers and better quarterbacks, they're going to be able to torch them, and maybe Clemson will show us something this week and go after them. We never know. What do you think, Brady?
Yeah, I thought it was very suspect. Seeing them play so well against LSU, and who knows, LSU might be the best team in the SEC for all I know. That conference has not looked good. However, Florida State pounded them. So it's been interesting to see Florida State's drop off from the LSU game to now. But, I mean, who knows if it was a bad game or if Florida State's not – if that game against LSU was a good game. But Keon Coleman has not been getting the ball like he was in that first game. Like, after the game against LSU, I was ready to say that Keon Coleman is the second best wide receiver in all of college football. He's just that good of an athlete and that athletic. But I think I'd still say talent-wise he is, but he has not been getting the ball. It just hasn't been what we need to see out of them in their passing offense in terms of getting their best players the ball. So it's interesting to see. I actually think that a couple other teams deserve to drop more than they did, since they do have that signature win, but they definitely deserve to drop a little bit for sure.
Did you see his tweet?
Who? Keon?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He tweeted 3 footballs for his 2 targets on all, passing and 1 for his 1 rush.
Oh, wow.
So he's pissed.
Sounds like some Jets players and the Jets fan right below Matt Ricketts who now came out of the closet as a Jets fan.
Jets.
That's for another
they don't give their best players the ball on offense.
Yeah, that's for another time. Fuck the Jets. I don't even care. I'm going to curse a lot on the show. I don't care. Penn State beat Illinois 30-13. Such a weird game. It was a weird game in my eyes. I watched maybe a quarter of it. I remember who was it? A pitch pass touchdown. Tyler Warren threw a pass to Trey Potts and in the third quarter. And I remember Gus Johnson was on the call, and Gus Johnson, he acted like, hey, I do not want to be here in Champaign, Illinois. This game, was just – it happened. The game happened, 30-13. Drew Aller, 208 yards, completed less than 50% of his passes, a hair under 50% of his passes. Illinois quarterback Luke Altmaier played absolutely shitty. 4 interceptions. Wow, he was terrible. But yeah, I mean, Penn State got the win on the road and everything. They got a big game coming up against Iowa at home on CBS. What did you think of the performance, Brady? And what does Penn State have to work on going into this matchup against Iowa?
Penn State needs to get more consistent on offense. I think their defense is really good. I think that Abdul Carter is the most freaky linebacker of the Big Ten. I think Drew Aller, I still think he's good. He did not have a good game though. Under 50% of your passes is never good. Although Illinois usually has a really good pass defense, so I'm guessing that was probably a product of it. Best QB in the Big Ten is up for grabs right now between, 4 guys, I would say, being Talia, Drew, Kyle McCord, and unfortunately J.J. McCarthy. According to most people, those are your 4. Actually, Luke Altmaier might be in that discussion too. After that, but yeah, he's awful. Drew Aller, though, I still think he made some good throws after going back and watching a little bit of it. He definitely has the strongest arm in the Big Ten, and I think Penn State's really good. I think this game might have been a little weird, sloppy game, but I still think Penn State is a top 6 team in the country, and they're going to be good. But I do think they're our 3rd toughest game.
All right. I'll ask that in a second. So there are a couple other games. I'll get Matt's thoughts on these. LSU won 41-14 against Mississippi State. Kansas State lost 30-27 to Missouri on the road. What did you think of these 2 games, Matt?
I thought Jaden Daniels played extraordinary. I had like a 3 TV rotation going. I only had 1 TV on, but I had 3 channels I was flipping back and forth to, and LSU Mississippi State was one of them. I bet the Bulldogs, unfortunately, plus 9.5, and obviously that shit down. I should have brick on that one because Jaden Daniels looked incredible. I mean, he went 30 for 34, I believe. Not exactly sure what the numbers were passing yards wise.
Yeah, but, wow. I mean, it was pretty good. 30 for 34, 361, 2 touchdowns, 15 carries for 64 yards and 2 touchdowns.
It just felt like every time I flipped back over from the Illinois Penn State game to ESPN for them, LSU had scored another touchdown. It just kept fucking scored. I was like, well, fuck. This one's over. So, I think LSU looked pretty good. It's a big bounce back from, how they looked against Florida State week 1. So, we shall see.
Yeah, our opponent Saturday night on NBC, Notre Dame beat Central Michigan 41-17. Brady, you've been watching Notre Dame awfully closely the first 4 games of their season. They played the Week 0 matchup against Navy. Sam Hartman was 16 for 26, 330, 3 touchdowns. Their running back, we were talking about a bit, Audric Estime, 20 carries, 176 yards and a touchdown. We know they were playing against Central Michigan, a team in the MAC, as Matt would say, a team that nobody gives 3 shits about. So Notre Dame, man, what's your assumption through the first 4 games? And, we don't have to preview the game right now, but just what is your assumption on Notre Dame specifically, Brady?
Yeah, so I watched them closely, like you said. I think this is probably the most scary Notre Dame team in 10 years. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's the best Notre Dame team because, there have been a couple playoff teams. Those teams got blown out, though. I think this team, if they make the playoffs, has the opportunity to win a playoff game.
They have more potential, yeah.
They have more potential. Their offense is just dynamic. Having Sam Hartman as quarterback, I think he's even better than I remember him at Wake Forest because we actually get to see him in a normal offense now. And so I didn't know how that was going to look after being in the wacky, gimmicky offense at Wake Forest.
It was wacky.
It was very wacky, but he is delivering strikes. I watched the entire NC State game today, the shortened game, but every play. And the dude is not afraid to throw it across the middle of the field. I don't think there's not a quarterback in the country that throws a ball across the middle of the field better than Sam Hartman. And it's something that it's honestly a thing of beauty. their tight ends get involved, and I don't even know that they're great tight ends. He just finds them ways to get involved. Sam Hartman distributes the ball perfectly. And then they have big threats at receiver, like big body receivers that he likes to throw to. And he
I noticed Matt is wearing a KR marching band shirt. Let's see marching band.
He is a marching band type of guy. He's not he's not a tough guy.
Yeah, he's I can't say that on the air.
Holy shit. What a dick.
No, you're right there. He's definitely not a tough guy.
Yeah,
if you try to fight him, he'll probably back away and
he's soft.
On you. And,
he's really soft.
Yeah, he's soft. He's the type of guy that needs other people to fight his fights for him.
Yep.
But anyways, Notre Dame catches the ball
just for the record, this is my brother's sweatshirt, folks. Okay, he was in the marching band.
Okay,
we don't give a shit. You're wearing it, so there you go. But
yeah,
right.
and Sam Hartman loves to take one-on-one shots. I think we need to go. The thing with this game, I think we might need to. I know I don't want to preview the game, but zone coverage is probably better than man coverage against a team like Notre Dame because they have such big body receivers, and Sam Hartman loves to just take shots to them, and he usually puts it in a spot to where only the receiver can get it. However, when he goes across the middle of the field, he has yet to be intercepted. But I've seen some plays where a really good safety could pick it off. I'm not saying that Lathan Ransom is a really good safety or that Josh Proctor is, but they might be. We gotta see. So I think he throws the ball in harm's way. It's not like he doesn't. So there's an opportunity for teams that play them. But basically, Notre Dame to me is that clear number 8, number 7 team. They're a top 10 team, and they're definitely better. They're better than the teams such as Washington, in my opinion, because I think they're just more dynamic on defense and have a better O-line.
Yeah. Yep. Great breakdown there. Matt, we'll get your thoughts more throughout the week and everything because we know you have some thoughts about those. Never mind. We'll just move on. Georgia, they beat South Carolina 24-14. They basically played at the same time as us. They played 3:30. We played at 4 on Saturday. Only a 10-point game. What'd you think of Georgia's performance, Matt? And they were down early. Yeah, Shane Beamer and the Cox, man, they had a chance to do it, but
I don't know.
They didn't.
It was just one of those ugly ass games, man, where I was shocked. I was shocked it was that close. I thought Georgia would roll, and they ended up dominating the game towards the end of the game. So it's kind of the typical Georgia fashion. When Georgia gets in an ugly game in the SEC, they get down maybe early, and then they just kind of defense, good running game. They just kind of get back into the game slowly, methodical. So I think there's going to be some development for Georgia this year as well, just because of all the guys they lost, both on offense and defense last year. So I'm not going to take too much out of it because I think Shane Beamer's actually really got South Carolina moving in the right direction too. So he came in with a good plan. I think Spencer Rattler played decent. So I'm not going to take too much out of it, but I was surprised that it was that close.
Yeah, that's very true. See what happens with Georgia, obviously, with the new quarterback, Carson Beck, and everything. And if you know a couple things about Carson Beck, you just read deeper into that if you guys want to on the internet. Alabama, they beat South Florida 17-3 in a wacky one down there in Tampa, Florida. What the hell's up with Alabama?
I just don't think they're very good.
Alabama. Now I'll say this.
Very talented, not very
I've
good.
been on this train that Jalen Milroe is their best quarterback by a wide margin for the entire off season up to the season.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Jalen Milroe is some really good quarterback. Tyler Buchner is outrageously bad. I've said that for a long time. I've said that the year I paid most attention in recruiting was 2021 because that was the COVID year when we were actively recruiting that class. There was nothing else to do but let's see who we get in recruiting. But I would look at the other players, and I always thought that Tyler Buchner was crazy overrated and never going to be a good quarterback. But I did not think he was going to be this bad. How do you go 5 for 14 for 30-something yards against South Florida with Alabama's offense? How do you throw more interceptions than touchdowns in your career with Notre Dame and Alabama as your two teams you're playing for? He's just atrocious. This guy is awful. So that was part of the reason. They probably won the game by a little bit more with Jalen Milroe. I don't know why Saban didn't switch to Milroe quicker and let it happen to be a game. Like, imagine they lose to South Florida because Tyler Buchner starts the entire game. Like,
he announced Milroe as the starter.
Yeah, Milroe's the starter now, which
is
the smart thing to do. Like, they go from not a top 25 team, in my opinion, to like maybe like borderline top 15 at their best. So like, it's not like Milroe's a great player, but he's very, very good at running the ball, and he has a pretty strong arm. So there's that. But yeah, this Alabama team looked bad, and they do not look like they have any juice. The offensive line has been overrated to this point. It has not played like they're supposed to, and their defense was fine. I mean, they only let up 3 points, but their offense is atrocious.
Quarterbacks combined this game: Ty Simpson, Tyler Buchner, 10 for 23, 107 yards. That's it. Ty Simpson's QBR was 21.5. Tyler Buchner's was 15.2.
That's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so great. But
reminds me of Brady King up there throwing the ball.
Man, just throwing shots. Man, okay.
Yeah. You said something about Kenny Pickett earlier, me being like Kenny Pickett, and I could accept that because Kenny Pickett's a starting quarterback that was a Heisman finalist on an NFL. You know, he's on.
Well, obviously, Matt didn't think that through because
yeah, he's an idiot. Like, but this Tyler Buchner one, I do take offense to this Tyler Buchner comparison.
Man, that is rough. That is rough. You guys keep doing your little banter and shit. So, yeah. Let's see. Oregon State won 26-9 over San Diego State. Who cares? Oklahoma won 66-17 on the road against Tulsa. They're probably going to wipe Cincinnati. I'm not sure. North Carolina 31-13. Duke won. Iowa won. We won. Obviously, we talk about that. What did? Wow. 60 minutes into the show, we haven't talked about this yet. Okay, what do you guys think from this game? Yeah.
Silver bullets, forcing turnovers. Yeah. 2. Man, we haven't scored a defensive touchdown. I can't even fucking remember how long. We had 2. 2 in one game.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what. Okay. So Silver Bullets played great. I took the under in this game because I didn't think we'd explode on offense the way we did and score twice on defense. I thought our defense would play great, which they did. They had a couple of series or whatever where some shit was going on. We were going against a prolific passing attack. I thought we did great. I thought it was a huge win for the defense in that regard, only giving up 10 points against an offense like that. I really did. I thought it was great. And I also thought there was I've heard a lot of people talking about, not necessarily just Buckeye fans, but on college football, college football live, college football media, put it that way, talking about Ohio State's pass rush or whatever, not getting to the quarterback. Well, I will say this: Western Kentucky was trying to get the ball out quick, boom, boom, boom. So it's hard for us to get to them. Okay, so I'm not gonna take too much out of that. I'm not gonna just say that our defensive ends, our guys aren't getting after them, are playing well. I'm not gonna. Because Western Kentucky's game plan was to get the ball out quick and not let our defensive ends wreak havoc, not let our, Mike Hall, Ty Lee guys get after the quarterback like that. So that's what I'll say about the defensive side of the ball. I was very impressed. I thought we played great on defense for the most part. Offensively, Trey Henderson. Now, I will say this. I've been on record saying that I think he runs like a pussy at times. I was thoroughly impressed with the way he was finishing runs on Saturday. I think it might be the most physical, just overall best Trey I've seen. Now, not his best game. Don't give me that. Don't get me wrong there. But just watching him play, finishing runs, finishing. Forward.
I think I like the Tulsa game where he had 277.
Right. More. That's what I'm saying. It's not his best game. That's what I said. Yep. So I think I'm gonna hold judgment on Trey until this week. If he comes out and plays well this week, like he did the last week, and finishing runs, and I'm not even talking about total yards, total anything. I just need to see him play like that against a good team. If I could see that this week, I will take every pussy word I've ever said about him back. I will. I'll take it all back. I will admit I was wrong. Okay, but up until this point, there's been times where he's ran like a pussy. Okay, so there's Trey. Kyle, over 300 yards, played really well. We finally saw him take a shot downfield to Marvin. Another shot downfield to Marvin. Marvin just fucking toasted him. 6 fucking points. Okay. Now there's one throw early in the game. I think it was our second drive. He fucking airmailed one over top.
It was our first drive.
First drive, yeah. And if Brady was at the game, so he didn't see the live.
I saw it afterwards.
You saw Ryan? Did you see Ryan's?
Yeah, I did.
Wide fucking open. You can see him mouth it. I was like, other than that, I thought Kyle played great. I don't know about you guys. I thought he played great. I thought it was huge to see us be able to put up as many points as we did. We exploded. We ran the ball well. We threw the ball well. I just thought this is exactly the game that we needed to play going into next week. I thought that I'm thinking about sitting back and watching it, and then waking up Sunday. I'm like, this could be the game we look back on this year, and it propels us forward. The turning point of the season. You know how there's always your turning points of the year or whatever, a big game or whatever, a performance. I think you look back on it and say, wow, this offense really opened up as soon as when they played Western Kentucky. Defense was flying around. I think you look back, and this could be a turning point on the season. I was really, really impressed overall. I have the utmost confidence going in to play a really good Notre Dame team now.
Yeah, and obviously, it'd be great if Kyle McCord could do his thing at quarterback. It would also be great if we see a picture of TreVeyon Henderson. I know it's not this exact picture, but it'd be nice to see this on the screen, wouldn't it, Matt?
Oh, yes.
Thought it was going to happen last year, didn't you?
Yeah, he did, but
that was awesome.
It's cool though. But Brady, give me your condensed analysis of the game because we still got a little bit to cover.
Yeah. So, I'll touch on what Matt said. He said that Kyle McCord played really good, he played good, which I thought so too. I thought Kyle McCord played his best game as a Buckeye pretty easily. Yeah. He was throwing downfield very well. He has a pretty big arm, a bigger arm than I thought. I think he probably has the second best arm in the Big Ten behind Drew Aller. And he's accurate down the field. I really like to watch him throw it down the field. I still wish he was a little bit better at moving in the pocket more naturally. There was one where they sent an all-out blitz, and instead of trying to avoid it and replacing the blitz and just getting out of the pocket, honestly could have ran for a lot of yards. He just chucked it Carnell Tate's way, basically trying to not throw a complete pass, just throw it away. Yeah. But I do love his pocket ability to throw downfield, except that one to Julian. TreVeyon Henderson. It is clear after watching this game that he's obviously our RB1. He is very good. If he gets a lot of touches, he's going to have a lot of yards. That's why he hasn't had so many yards this year, because he doesn't necessarily get bell cow touches. But he can be utilized a lot in open space. When he gets in open space, he is really good. He might be – there's definitely a chance he's the first running back taken in the drafts, and that's not even crazy to say at all, because he's been projected that for years. Definitely better than his fellow 2021 class running back and down there in Ann Arbor, or up there in Ann Arbor. What am I saying? Trey looked good. Running backs overall, Chip looked good. Mine, not even in the regular rotation apparently based on this game. Receivers looked good. Emeka did a nice job that game. 2 touchdowns. Marv, best receiver in the country, obviously. Ridiculous. Yep. My main takeaway defensively is Denzel Burke. He's CB1 easy. Everything thrown his way is broken up. Everything. B-I-A. You throw the ball Burke's way, and that is a real test. We can't say, it was Western Kentucky, because in that sense, yeah, it was Western Kentucky. One of the best passing offenses in the country with a receiver that has the potential to go first round. Blue Smith. But
quarterback that threw for the most yards in college football last year.
Yeah, Austin Reed. But I remember Denzel kept breaking up passes intended for Blue Smith. It was kind of funny to see. But he played great. Pass rushing wise, I think there's better options out there than our 2 starters. I'm going to be honest. I've got to be straight up. Mitchell Melton came in there and made 2 plays as soon as he came in. He had a quick sack, and he had a pass deflection that the quarterback ended up catching, in his small amount of playing time. I think him and Kenyatta Jackson might be our best pass rushers. I think they played great. Tommy played great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they all played great.
offensive line.
It was a great game. Great game in general for Ohio State.
Cade Stover played great. 90
You
yards.
gotta throw Cade Stover in there because he's
Sonny didn't play as much as usual, but the only player that didn't play as great was Jordan Hancock. He let up some plays.
Yep, but hey, not everyone's gonna play perfect, so we'll see what happens with that. Tennessee lost to Florida. Brady, you picked Florida to win, and we didn't. And I could give a shit, but Florida beat Tennessee. Joe Milton was 20 for 34, 287 yards, 2 touchdowns to a pick. Some guys squared up after the game when Graham Mertz was kneeling down and shit, or was it Joe Milton? Like who was kneeling it down? Then people just started.
Graham Mertz was kneeling it down.
Yep.
Jeff Heupel called a timeout with like 6 seconds left to be a douchebag, and Tennessee's guys fucking drilled Graham Mertz, and Florida's guys got pissed about it, which I would have too.
Yeah,
they had a fucking reason to call a timeout, you jackass. I hope they lose by a fucking 100 this week to whoever the fuck they play.
All right, there's Matt airing his thoughts out there, but yeah, Florida did get Tennessee. Michigan, man, they won 31-6, but that first half did not look good for them. 14-6 at the half. JJ McCarthy had 3 interceptions. He had a very active game, I'll say, when it comes to 8 for 13. So he had 8 for 13, 143 yards. 2 of his 8 completions were touchdowns. 3 of his 5 incompletions were completions, as Trap House Sports say, to the defense. But he was pretty ass. Brady, you are a JJ McCarthy enthusiast, of course.
Yep. This is my second most watched team, always. I've said it. I've said these are my three main takes about Michigan players I've had during the offseason. JJ McCarthy has a noodle arm, and he's not a first-round pick by any means. That sure looked like the case on Saturday. I said Blake Corum is miles. He's the clear best running back on the team. That was clear this whole season so far.
Mm.
And I said that Roman Wilson is one of the more underrated players on that team, and their clear best receiver. He has 6 touchdowns in 3 games. So I feel like what I've said about Michigan has maybe been my best take of the year, is my offseason takes on Michigan. Would Matt like to admit that I think he said Donovan Edwards was better than Blake Corum? Would you like to change your mind?
No, not really, not yet. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just think let's wait a little while.
Actually, no. That. Would you like to not make fun of me anymore about Roman Wilson? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. You made fun of me.
He's pretty good. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, but you made fun of me about it.
Well, I didn't mean to. I guess.
Okay. That's all I say about everything. Anyways, JJ threw 3 picks and it was hilarious.
Yeah, pretty funny stuff. The last game we'll talk about before we scratch the surface on next week. Colorado and Colorado State was the most intriguing game of the week, believe it or not.
It was the greatest shit ever.
I mean, 43-35. Matt, continue.
I was up till 2:30 watching.
Same here.
I didn't miss a snap. I mean, it was just great. I mean, everybody, they were all fighting literally the whole game. 17 penalties for Colorado State. Unfortunately, the worst one was the hit on Travis Hunter, which was absolutely bullshit. That guy should have been thrown out. His name was, I think it was Henry Blackburn or some fucking bullshit. He should have been thrown the fuck out, ejected for the rest of that game. That was bullshit. That's worse than a lot of targetings because I mean, it was.
He could have pulled up. He could have pulled up easily.
Yeah, no, he didn't do it. The ball hit the ground and he.
That's what I'm saying.
That was and. Travis Hunter's out for a few weeks. The 2 biggest games of the year for fucking Colorado, he's out now. He ain't gonna play.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a dirty hit.
He lacerated liver. How often do you hear that?
Yeah, it was weird. That was a weird thing for him to do. The one thing though is some people are saying he should lose his scholarship for that's a little odd because people make dirty hits all the time.
Yeah.
It was a horrible. He should never have done that. It was.
He should have been tossed that game. That'd been it. but
suspended. Yeah, but still,
whatever.
it
But
was-
anyways, Shadur Sanders is a fucking elite quarterback. I think.
Good player.
He just.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
mean, he to take your team. I know it's against Colorado State, but it's a rivalry game. Whatever. 98 yards, the length of the field. 98 yards at the end of the game for a touchdown and get the 2-point conversion. And
Oh, yeah.
then Dion takes the ball first in overtime. What the
Yeah.
fuck? They win the toss and take the ball first.
yeah.
You always play defense first. They take
You
the
got
ball
that killer mentality on
Yeah.
offense, man. That's shit.
Yeah.
You know your offense is cooking. You take the ball. You take the
Yeah.
ball and score, and that's what they did.
and that's what they did.
Listen to this though.
Unbelievable.
Shadur Sanders, his completion percentage this year, 78.6%. I know they've played TCU, Nebraska, and Colorado State, but I mean, he's 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's going to go up against a top tier Pac-12 team this week against Oregon. Before we close things out, other than the Ohio State and Notre Dame game on Saturday, which is literally, Matt is off work the entire week.
I can't wait. So
yes.
Ohio State's played Notre Dame 5 times since 1995. Okay,
Yep.
There are 5 days of the week before 5 nights before we play
Yep.
Saturday, Monday through Friday. I'm going to watch 95, 96, 2005, 2015, and 2022.
Should we do a whole series, Matt, and just like literally have a camera like, hey, I'm Matt Ricketts.
One each night on YouTube when I go to sleep. Okay, one each night. I can't fucking wait to relive it. Okay, but I'm telling you what, boys, I am fucking juiced up. We're going out to breakfast Saturday morning before the game, watching the games. I mean, I'm going to drink 1,000 fucking beers. It's going to be the best day. Go ahead, Chase.
What should the line be for beers? That
25.
normally 20. 25.
25.
All right.
Dude, I'm going to start at 9 a.m.
Yeah, that's gonna be I cannot wait for that. Okay, before we get on out of here, other than the Ohio State Notre Dame game that's been aforementioned, what game are you guys looking forward to? Okay, Matt, we got your pick.
Ole Miss, Alabama.
Florida State, Clemson, baby. The ACC. I hope Florida State runs through those motherfuckers on Saturday at noon. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Clemson might win, but I hope Florida State beats their ass.
If you liked let me say this. I hate Clemson, and I want to see Clemson Attic cry.
Yes.
Hold on a second. We got a comment here. It's Jazz at Ricky. Let me get a prediction for the Buckeyes Saturday. Who's the X Factor and final score prediction? We're going to do that later on in the week.
Tune in Wednesday. I don't want to ruin it yet. Okay.
Yeah. Tune in Wednesday.
Yep. We will. Yeah. We're gonna cover all the games.
I will say this. I feel pretty good about the Buckeyes coming in to South Bend a lot better. I always felt good, but I feel a lot better after watching that total domination Saturday against a solid football team. I feel really good.
I agree. I was kind of back and forth. Obviously, I want to see what Colorado does on Saturday. It just sucks that Travis Hunter's not going to be playing in that game.
Many good games.
There's so many good. Yeah, there really is. There's so many good games on. There's a ton of ranked matchups and everything. And then obviously Oklahoma's playing Cincinnati, big noon kickoff, but Cincinnati lost to Miami, Ohio this past week. So it's still exciting. Still exciting for the university to have everything there. But but hey, I'll be watching. I'll be watching with the boys back here in Springfield. So I'm excited for everything to happen.
Oh God, I'm already juiced up.
You're already juiced up. You got anything you want to say before we get on out of here, man? Oh my God,
I'm good, man. I'll save it for Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Hey, turn into the show Wednesday or Thursday, whatever day we do it. Either Wednesday or Thursday, we're gonna have a show. We got a special guest coming. All right,
we'll get one developed. Yep. And then Brady, you got anything before we get out of here?
All I have to say is it was a good week for us.
Nice. And all I have to say is I have a night class at 6. I'll see you guys.